Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and merciful. Today's the topic of my lecture is about the railway engineering. It's the first lecture, and we will discuss about the railway assets of Pakistan in some detail. And if I look at the content of this lecture, we talk about the introduction, the Pakistan Railways, an overview, comparison with other railways, and challenges, and the way forward. Pakistan Railway and overview. Now, if we look at the map of Pakistan and if we look at the railway tracks of Pakistan, we can see that there are three main lines from Karachi to the other countries. The first one you can say the biggest line is ML1, mainly a single track. Karachi, Hyderabad, Rodi, Khanewala, or Rawalpindi, Peshawar. This can be seen black in the screen. Then we have ML2. This again runs to somehow Peshawar, but with a different route. It goes to Karachi, Kotri, Dadu, Jacobabad, DG Khan, Kotaddu, Kundan, Dadu Khel, Chandatak, Peshawar, 1519 kilometers. And then the third one is as you go to the east towards Iran or towards Balochistan, we can say it's Rohri, Sakkar, Sibbi, Quetta, Ahmedabad, Dalbadin, and Kaftan. It's around 966 kilometers. Now, if we want to do it in tabulation form, the total track kilometer is 11,881 kilometers, and the route kilometer is 7791. If you know railway engineering, you know that the route kilometers is 7791 and track kilometers is 11,881. It's because some of the routes are not double track. Some of the routes have a double track. That's why it's not 7791 multiplied by 2. The number of locomotives is 460, but we know that it's around 70% of them are now operational. The others are going to major repairs and need of then been obsolete and now has passed its life. The passenger coaches 1,484. The freight wagons are 15,324. The railway station is 512. The number of employees data is of about 5 years ago, it's 75,242. The freight earning is 12.3 billion and the passenger earning is 21.3 billion. Ministry of Railway is responsible for the overall management of railway. It's a government organization. It comes under Federal Minister. And Federal Minister is assisted by Parliamentary Secretary and the Minister of State. If you look at the Federal Minister, it's against Federal Minister, there is Secretary of BPS 22, and one secretary is from Railway Board Secretary, that is BPS 21, and the member finance BPS 21. Under the chairman, this is DG Planning, DG Operation, and DG Technical. The upper tier of Pakistan Railways is led by Chief Executive Officer, or we call them Senior General Manager. Within a Senior General Manager, there are two, the mechanical and the telecommunication. And within each of them, there is an assistant general manager infrastructure, there is an assistant general manager traffic, assistant general manager mechanical, IG police, uh, chief PO, director IT, CPPO, and DG public relations. Then there are principal officers that works under assistant general manager. Then there are DS. There are 8 superintendent engineers based on Karachi, Quetta, Sakkar, Multan, Lahore, Rawalpindi, Peshawar, and Muzaffarabad. Let's look at the progress of Pakistan Railway from 2011 to 2021. It experienced a shift from 74,930 passengers to presently the last data it's 28,400 passengers. There was a large dip between 2012 and 2013, but the slope got increased 2018-19, and then from 2019 there is a dip in the passenger ridership of this train. Mostly, this can be attributed to the COVID, in which most of the train were closed, and that may be one of the reason of the decreased ridership on the train. The other reason may be the most of the transport is being carried by the bus, which are reliable and which are more time oriented and punctual, and that has made maybe the modal shift from railway to the passenger bus, but this may not be the only reason of the decreased ridership. The quality of the service. If you look at the cargo handled, way back in 2010, it was 5.830. That has increased to 8.200. Again, there was, there was no cargo between 2013 to 2014. It's around 1 ton, but since then it has increased. But again, you can see the dip in 2020, 7,410, but still it's stable at around 8,200 metric tons. So again, there is, we can say that the freight cargo has somewhat stable in last 4 to 5 years as compared to the past. This is one area that has not been taken care of. The track kilometers, the route kilometers, it's same, and nothing has changed between last, you can say, 10 years. The data is of 2017, but I'm pretty sure that has not changed even in 2022. If you look at the Pakistan locomotives, that was 544 in 2006 as compared to 4,455 in 2017. So it has also decreased, and as I was saying, and most of them are not when operational. Now, if you look at the Pakistan railway freight wagons, uh, there was, 20,809 riders in 2010, 2006. That has a dip of 15,499, and then again it has got a larger dip, and presently it stands around 16,085. Again, the data is up to June 2017. And if you look at the passengers train per day, during the year, it's the category wise, male 19, intercity 20, passenger 8, mixed 3, international 3, Karachi shuttles 3, the total of 5,510, but it has somehow increased as well. It is at 228 in 2021 to 2022. The train exports from Karachi, it's have not changed much in last 6 years. It stands 11 per day, 2017-18, and it's around 12 per day in 2022. Now, this is the data of the port handled by ports. We know that we have two major ports, Port Qasim and KPT. And if we look at the data, and that total import handled by Port Qasim is 38.5 million tons, whereas KPS had handled 52 million tons. The country is 90 million tons, and that incidentally has not been increased in the last 5 years as well. And the current data is somewhere similar to the data that is being presented over here. How it can be turned around? This is a big question. This Pakistan railway. We need the leadership, and then there should be a coherence in working and emphasis on teamwork. There shouldn't be no political interference, and then there should be a political will. The political will in a sense that while making the decision about opening the train or the route, some mathematics and statistical tools should be used to have a decision-making process. There will be a fair distribution, budget allocation of the funds in the right manner and the right direction, and making a sense of ownership and belonging amongst the employees. Incidentally, if you look at the total employees of all government employees of Pakistan to the sum of all government employees in Pakistan, and as you compare to some of the employees of Pakistan Railway, the sum of employees of Pakistan Railways are more than the cumulative sum of all other professional or all the government organizations. So railway represents, we can say, Pakistan. And if the Pakistani economy has to rise, the railway has to improve. And one of the things that's very doable, it's very natural. If you don't have a sense of ownership, your department is not going to prosper. Now, what we can do to turn it around? What are the advantages of railway? They are bulk carrier freight. It has affordable transportation for passengers. It has an access to strategic locations. It's available in emergency situation. And during my course of experience, when we have talked with some managers of Pakistan Railway, they say Pakistan Railways believe in the people. Most of the time, they have routes that are not uh, feasible, but still this is being operated just for the sake of Pakistan, just because Pakistan Railway wants to accommodate each and every person in the country and wants to integrate the country. So if they close that route, that the deprived area will not having another affordable transport for passengers. The expenditures in 2017, 53% comes from the passengers, 1% from the military earning, there are sundries, and then there are good export, that is 39%. And then there are other coaches. What are the challenges? Institutional reforms are needed. We need an national policy. There are aging assets. Most of the sleepers and most of the tracks are outdated. They have to be replaced. And then, we have to modify our tracks. And then there is always a mounting budgetary deficit because railway is there for last 75 years. There are many people who have retired and have, they have some of them died, and still the the pension system is all for them. Their family is being supported, and for me, the main reason of this budget deficit is the number of employees that are more than required. And that's one of the reasons why the railway authority always have a budget deficit. Together with there are a number of accidents that occurs every now and then because of the old signal system or because of the absence of barriers in level crossing, and then there are the there are reasons, what we call the human reasons behind those, and that are causing huge loss to the railway authority, and that's why that at the end of year compounds to make this negative budget more horrible than it should be. Another problem is the road transport competition. Normally, the same route, if you go by bus, it's a most efficient system as compared to the rail transportation, and mainly because the rail transportation system, the present trains cannot cope up with the speed of the bus transport, despite the rail transport has an advantage of having exclusive right. But again, as if we know that because of the old tracks, the capacity of the track for operational speed is less, and most of the time between two destinations, people prefer road transportation more than the rail transportation, mainly because of what I feel is the punctuality and the time dependency and the time management. Again, there is one more thing, this is universal even for the road transport as well, is the petroleum prices that are always unstable, and it's become very difficult for government to adjust it every time there is increase in fuel prices. And this will also result in deficiency in budget. And as we all know, that if the government policies towards railways is consistent, the management is kept constant. There shouldn't be no political interference in terms of the ownership of the railway. Then this way do a lot of turnaround in the railway management, railway performance. But with the subsequent government, they have a tendency to turn around the policy of the previous government, and this have resulted in huge loss to the railways in last 75 years. Another point is about the coordination among the various stakeholders, like the passengers, like the managers, like those persons who are around, and that was also like the purchasing company, like the engineers, the maintenance people. They lack coordination, and that results in lack of decision making. One of the example that was that happened many years ago, when the train was imported from China, and it has a lesser flow level as compared to the existing flow level, the platform level of the train station, and that actually the people who are working on the field were not contacted about the design of the potted track, potted trains, and that eventually resulted when those trains was bring for operation, we have to level platform has to be remodeled, take about that train. So this is one such example of lack of, and I am sure there are many that have resulted in the railways affairs in last 75 years. So what I think is the strategic direction. We need to improve governance, the transparencies in appointment, the general manager at all posts, all key posts. We have to improve the governance. We have to improve the focus. What is our core business? Is it the passenger or is it the freight? So, and what are the the routes? What are the most feasible routes, and how these routes can be focused to obtain more revenue? There is always a potential in the growth, but again, if there is a will, there is a direction, it can be improved. Obviously, we need to orient the freight affairs. Then we have to provide safety to passenger operations, and we have to rationalize the fares. Sometimes you have one single fare for all the route that is not justifiable. For instance, a person traveling from Karachi to Lahore, and if he has to stop Hyderabad, he may have a lesser fare, but if once he pass, say Sakha, he has to pay more or less the same fare. So we have to look at this impact of fares, and if you have to rationalize the fares for different routes, then it can be very profitable. There is one more thing, that we should have a merit-based human resource policy. There should be transparent public-private partnership initiated. There is the maximum your assets, whatever available assets we have, that should be maximally utilized. There are many places where the land of railway land has been occupied, and there is no, although we have now a land management system that has been developed, we need more of this impact, and then the enforcement and the care of that railway land. Maybe we can done on the commercial basis as well. But again, the revenue should be uh, properly directed and maintained. We need to have a strategic plan, and we have to best utilize the CPAC funds for the revitalization of the air. So this ends my lecture on railway assets of Pakistan. In next lecture, we'll talk about China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPAC. So that's it for today. And thank you very much for the listening.